name is Christian Joy Henry, and in my audience, I have my family here with me. And I am enrolled in an online class with Dr. David Sidore, and the class is called Online Perspectives on Society and Film. I have chosen a 2017 film called Till Death Do Us Part, and the social issue in this film discusses about domestic violence in marriages. Domestic violence means violent or aggressive behavior in a home. One person has power over another through sexual, emotional, physical, verbal, stalking, and harassment. And this is a screenshot in the film, and in the film To Death Do Us Part, and this is the husband Michael, and this is the wife, and her name is Madison, and they're playing a piano, and Michael, the husband, just bought the piano for the wife, celebrating their anniversary. And a few months have passed in the film, and this is Madison, the wife, and Chelsea, her best friend, is explaining to Madison that she needs to leave this abusive relationship right now. And I'm about to play you a video of the clip.
If you found out I was working with you, you'd kill me. I never knew he was so insecure. He asked me if the baby was his. That's crazy. You've only known him. Come on. Of course. I know you said everything was good. They were. All of a sudden, you had that day at work, and I guess he took it out on me. Oh my God. It's not his fault. He's been really stressed. His job and stress. It's that kid of reason dating you. And while you're 4 months pregnant, you need to stop making excuses for him and go to the police. He's my husband, Chelsea. I'm carrying his child. I'm not gonna cut you behind him. He was too perfect. I knew he was just my mother's son. What kind of man hits his pregnant wife when she's carrying his child? Who does that? I don't want this to be a bigger deal than it already is. Okay? Do not blow this out of proportion. I'll get you face. We've been best friends since high school. And I've always had your back. You know me, Maddie. You know me. I'm not just gonna sit back and do nothing while this man substitutes. Shh. With your face, okay? This happens again. I will go to the police if he did himself. He won't do it again. I trust him.
As you can see in this film, Chelsea, Madison's best friend, she's very adamant and she's very honest with Chelsea. She's saying, hey, like, you need to leave this relationship right now. It doesn't matter if you're his wife. He needs to respect you. And I have here the signs of an abuser traits, and the first one says blaming the spouse. So as you say, Michael, he was always blaming Madison, like, oh, you need to do this more, you need to be a wife. Jealousy, Michael, he was always jealous of the things that Madison was doing. He was controlling behavior. He would say, no, you need to stay at home, like you shouldn't be working. He will isolate her from her father and from her best friend. Verbal abuse, he would always tell her to be quiet. Physical abuse, he would always be choking her. And breaking objects, he would always punch the walls and doors and holes in the walls. Now these are symptoms of an abusive victim. So this is from Madison the wife. So she would minimize the seriousness of abuse. So in the clip you just seen, she was like, no, like it's not really important. You don't have to report it to the police. Like, it's not that serious. Low self-esteem. While as she was in her work, she would always throughout the film, her head would always be down, and she would just be always looking at the floor. She feels powerless. She feels like she has nowhere to go, and she feels like that she has to stay in this abusive relationship. And she would blame violence on partner's bad day. She would say, it was just a random, he had a bad day, and it was my fault. She comes up with excuses. She's basically just saying that how it's her fault, and she needs to. This is all on her, not him. And the last one is tries to appear pleasant and charming to their peers. So as during Madison and Chelsea's conversation, Madison was telling Chelsea to calm down. Everything's gonna be okay. Like, don't raise your voice. And what I have here is the cycle of abuse, and this is illustrated by Denise W. Anderson. She created the cycle of abuse, and in the cycle of abuse, this is something that will keep on continuing. It's gonna keep on continuing, and it's never gonna stop. The only way it's gonna stop is through death, or the victim finally says that, hey, okay, I need to get out of this relationship right now. And the first one is overprotection in the name of love. Throughout the movie, at the beginning of the movie, Michael would say, I love you, so you need to do this. If not, then that means that you don't love me. Power gained through social isolation. Michael told her to stay home, and then you only need to stay home and cook and clean. Restrictive control of resources and activities. So because she wasn't able to work, he was the only one that was bringing the income in the house, which made her not be able to go any more places with her friends. Punishment through anger or physical activity. So you see, this is a screenshot from the film, and you can see Michael strangling her, and he would basically tell her, like, you need to know and be quiet. And then after that, right after this film, they would act as if nothing happened. And that means, going throughout the day, acting as if he never hit her. And the last one is increase in love and kindness. And then, but this cycle, it continues on. It continues on, and it doesn't stop. But not only that, this domestic violence is appears in multi-generations, and the husband, his father actually killed his wife through domestic violence. If you know anyone that is suffering with domestic violence, the main thing is that you should tell them that it's very important to use this number from the National Domestic Violence Hotline. But also, as Chelsea, Madison's best friend, she actually did go to the hospital to report it, but she learned that the victim is the one that has to report it themselves, not your friends. The victim has to be the one to end the relationship. Does anyone have any questions?
I did. I was concerned because I thought Madison also showed abusive tendencies through verbal, when she called Michael a coward, and when she basically said he wasn't her husband, and she would rev up to him like she wanted to fight. So is she considered an abuser as well?
Yes, she is considered an abuser as well because she, as verbal abuse is part of domestic violence, and that's one thing that a lot of people misunderstand. They think it's only the physical part or the person that has more power, but actually both parties are involved. And I would like to thank everyone for coming for my presentation. I hope that you learned a lot about domestic violence. Thank you.